Alright, cool. Shout outs to Wolfie. Shout outs to George. Yeah, and Nikita. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about balancing the 9 to 5 with passion for art, music. As I've seen from George, it's not easy. My journey hasn't been easy, but it's just one of them where, you know what, I'm not gonna say too much. We're gonna let our special guest Bear tell his perspective, because I want to hear more perspectives. So let's do this. Okay, I've tried to connect him. Let's see what's going on. Hold up, what is this?
Yo.
Alright, we're on. Jeez!
That was so quick.
Yeah. I like the setup.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm golden. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, man. Not bad.
What you been doing today?
Thinking about this live. What else? Not much else. There's been some, just planning next week really. Some work bits, some boring paperwork stuff. But as I told you, I've been procrastinating about this video for the past week, and it's mad. It's like as soon as I've got time to do it, I'm just not on it unless I'm talking to someone, and I think I'll be more interested in just hearing your perspective rather than me just doing a talking head to myself for YouTube.
Bro, I think it's difficult because us as creators and you as a creative anyway, because I think you being able to be DP, have that side of things and be able to see that vision, I think you're kind of examining what you're seeing as you're watching and you're hearing, and it must be because I only obviously dabble and stuff, and I don't have that extra part where I can go and just do all this crazy stuff, and I can't imagine what it must be like to sit there and kind of analyze it that way.
Yeah, actually, you see, so Tony from Jungle Brown, he's just joined. I was talking to him about the same thing a few days ago, whereas I'm literally analysing YouTubers and I'm seeing where they're putting the light in. It's like, alright, they got that, they got the rim light, they got the the ambient mood light, and I'm like, I can do all this, but to be honest, my rooms, I haven't set up my house to be like that. Me and my partner, we pretty much work in the same place, so half of the battle with my music process, I can do that at all hours. If she's working, I'll just be writing, and then as soon as she's not on calls, then I just record. Whereas with YouTube, I haven't set up lights to be ready to record whenever. So that's actually the reason why I haven't done the video yet, because I'm I know I can do it at a 6 standard, but I just haven't. Our house is not set up like that. But yeah, man, it's one of them. So that's why you're making me accountable to be you know what, just keep it low key, a little Insta live, and better yet, I think it's more interesting just hearing other people's perspectives, because I've had my perspective for time, and I think in the way that I want to do things, I think for the next generation of creatives, I think it's more interesting, obviously, just hearing a mix of different perspectives that we don't hear about. So yeah, man. So yeah, welcome to hopefully the first in the series of Raw. I just love to hear your perspective of how, and your story of how your journey of going from having a 9 to 5 to music, or balancing the two, and just that emotional journey of how you made it work, really.
I think any of us, you start as a kid, you find what you love about music. So for me, I started playing saxophone when I was 8, and then that just took my brain into this whole other realm. And then I heard Champion Sound when I was 12, and Gangstar, and my brain was what the fuck is this? And I hear a jazz thing, and obviously me playing the sax, and then fucking hearing the riffs, and hearing how Premiere's hit stuff on the MPC, and my brain racing to try and comprehend what I'm hearing, and then hearing Guru just pocket his flows, and it's just that extra step, and then obviously obviously like I just delved deep and I went like Melly Mel and like all of the like Rakim and like everything like that. Like, and it's just, I think from like my generation as well, like we don't go back that far anymore. And it's a shame because like Rakim, like he raps like me and you, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like there's no difference, but I think a lot of people don't want to hear like it's been a long time or anything that he's done with like Eric B, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's where it started for me, man. And then I was just like, as I grew up, I just fell in love with it more and more. And I was about 15, 16, and I started Brighton. I got like the first machine or whatever and started producing.
Shit.
And then, yeah, just like until the age of like probably like 20, 21, I was just like playing about with stuff. Like obviously, like as we all do, like trying to find that sound, like trying to kind of like envision like what I wanted to do with music, because I knew probably from the age of like 14 that I wanted to do it forever. Like after playing saxophone, it's just kind of one of those things that you can't really like. Once it grips you, you're just like, oh fuck, like it's got some like.
Yeah, of course. And that's the amazing thing. So I think like obviously there's so many of us that have got that dream. So that's why I'm intrigued in how you've got, because you're pretty much doing music full time now, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, from the last time we spoke. And it's interesting, like when you sent me your bio earlier, I was like, yeah, this bio is 30, but the some of the things that you told me, like when we did that Zoom, of like working with like, you know, them pop stars and whatnot, I was just like, yo, is this under NDA? It doesn't really, but I remember you were saying you keep it separate.
Yeah, because I think for me, because like obviously we've had chats and stuff, and you know that I love helping people, and I love giving back, like what I've got, and I think some people, because obviously the industry's so fucked, like, and it is like to a certain extent, like you meet people like me and you, and if you've had a horrible experience, somebody being like, oh, dude, and we can like, I think that's a bit like too much. So like, I think sometimes it's kind of just to find that, do you know what I mean, in between where it's just like, but for me, that's why I don't like really like put it out on my Instagram that I've done like the Anastasia tours and like
that's the thing that I hear that.
It's just like for me it's not obviously like it helps like when I speak to people and like when like we're talking about mixing and doing bits like that, but I think for me it's like I think like you kept keeping your like Rick stuff separate from everything else as well. It's just kind of you could easily lean on stuff. But then it's like, can you champion yourself really to that extent if you then, like in my head anyway, I don't know, I think that maybe that's a creative battle that we have.
I think it is a creative battle that we have because similar, like I've had a similar conversation with Tony being an engineer for someone / being an artist, and it's like, we all want to just be the artist all day long. But it's like, when you and I've had a similar conversation with another producer, when your passion becomes a job, it's just difficult. Like it's like you have like it's almost like a relationship with a partner. It's like you have that like you know what do they call it, like, you know, the I forgot the names, I'm obviously not great at this. That the honeymoon period, you have the honeymoon period, right? And it's like and you know, outside of Rick as an artist, like I had the same thing with, I do motion graphics, I do animation as my freelance job, and it's like there was a honeymoon period where I just loved the job, like, oh yeah, I love making stuff move. But then when clients are coming back with 20 changes, it's just like, F this, like, why am I even doing this? You know what I mean? Like, I just want to do music full time as an artist. But anyway, rather than going into that, I want to hear your journey.
No, it's cool. So where was I? Like 2021, I kind of like I was like, right, I need to like sort my like situation out or whatever. I moved about a bit, but I was living in Cornwall at that time, and I moved back to London, and then just kind of went deep into music and kind of just like sat in a room for the next like 10 years, or like up until that point I was just sat in a room, like probably like when everyone was going out partying and doing whatever, I just like sat inside and everyone thought it was super weird. So for like 10 years till 25, like from 15 to 25, I was like locked in, just like not doing anything, man. And then I kind of just I just like fell into like the don't flop stuff when I was about 21, 22, 22 when I moved back to London, and kind of just like worked with a load of people like that, and like UTB, which is like Under the Bed Productions.
Okay. So you're working with labels at that time?
Oh no, so no, like I was just working with like, so you know Don't Flop?
Yeah, Don't Flop, I know Don't Flop, yeah.
So I was just working with like different people getting different mixing jobs. Like I did some in Joker Star and Party called Don't Watch.
Okay.
That was like the first proper mix and master like thing that I did, like anything. Like
okay. All right. So what? I guess for me to be specific, when was the transition of like whatever the day job was to all right? Look, I can do music. I'm doing music full time. When was that transition?
That was the Anastasia bit. When I got the Anastasia tour. So I met somebody called Troy Anton. And
Okay.
He was bassist for Justin Timberlake for NSYNC.
Jeez.
And he taught me how to mix and master. He taught like the reason why I could do everything because he taught me basically. He's like mentored me.
Okay. So how long ago was that?
That was like 5 years ago I met him. So
Okay.
I'm literally going to be 28 in like 2 weeks. So like when I was like 23.
Okay. So 5 years ago, that was when the transition happened. Yeah. And that's Okay. Sick.
Yeah, man.
So, and then, all right, after the Anastasia tour, actually, how was the experience? I mean, go into that.
So it was completely like eye-opening, like, because obviously you hear about like people with budgets and like all of this like shit, and then like I rock up to the Royal Opera House like in London, and they've hired the whole thing out for 8 weeks for rehearsals.
See.
So we've got the whole building for 8 weeks. And like people are fucking bringing us food, like it's fucking mad. Like I'm like sat on a desk in front of like this massive like pre-set up show thing. So the whole show is set up.
So hold up, what was you doing in the show? You were doing the live mixing of the show.
So Troy brought me on. So like now I do like MDing, which is like he does that as like musical director. So basically, obviously like I've like done all the like the other bits, so I can kind of obviously like play a bit and like kind of sit there and kind of direct people and do whatever, and then sit back and kind of get on the levels, make sure everything's ready for like full tours when they go out, and stuff like that. But yeah, so he's just like coaching me. That was like my first big thing that I did with him. But he just like had faith in me that I could fucking do the job. Like
amazing.
But I was like, it was like throwing into the fucking fire. Like good luck.
Yeah.
You can do it with me. So it's just like
So from that point, then, because I remember you showed me the master you did for, I can't remember his name, one of the guys out of JLS. Yeah.
That was when I was with Troy. Like he's like really good friends with us. He was like part of like Little Mix's management and like loads of other people. So like it's crazy. Like it's just, but to me, obviously, I think like like when you get to a certain point and it's not like they're just people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You create, and it's just not a thing. But it is kind of weird when I think about it. You're just like, I was like sat doing all of this stuff.
Yeah, sick.
I don't really like talk about it unless I'm in like studios and stuff. And people ask me.
No, but that's good to hear, because like I don't know how it'll be interesting to get into like how you balance like, all right, that's the work, but then like you as Bear and you as an artist, and when you get time to do your thing. But it's amazing that you're basically doing music all day long. Whether you're mixing for major label artists to doing your thing, that's sick. But I guess now I just said that, how do you make it work in a sense of time?
I schedule everything now. I used to not, and it was like I would literally I'm sure if you see my story, I was up like most of last year, because obviously studios shut down and whatever else. You just like I built a studio in this room, and I've got everything you would need. Full studio. The Mac's got every VST, like all the fucking everything. So, it's just like I was right. I'm gonna lock in, and then I think that like it got to like September, October time, and because I wasn't obviously like going out and doing bits, I like didn't have a real schedule, and it's just like it's 8 o'clock in the morning, it's 12 o'clock in the day. And it was like I need to sort stuff out. So at the beginning of the year, I like started to schedule everything properly, and I've got really I don't know if you've seen like the lo-fi stuff that's come out, but that stuff's under vinyl digital.
Okay.
So basically, I've like signed an independent kind of agreement with them that I'm still obviously independent and do whatever. But like any lo-fi projects that I've got with the A&R team, like really kind of like get kind of what I'm trying to do with the lo-fi stuff, and like I've got like a load of tapes coming out that are like sampling like Egypt, like all of this other stuff. It could be like really sick and kind of like really cool, like visceral listening experience. But yeah, it's just like all of that side of things is kind of done for me now, and the marketing, and that was what I was worried about trying to schedule in, because I did market my own stuff last year, and I got an album to like over 10k plays by myself, but it was really difficult to obviously like keep that up, and then obviously mixing took over again, and then all my schedules were just like crossed, and then I just had to mix, because obviously it's like paying for everything.
Yeah, so like what I'm interested in, just from my experience, like because you're working all hours, do you like, when do you set time for yourself as an artist?
So I say maybe at 10 o'clock at night, because that's like when I normally come back from the gym, and like I'll go at like 8:30, 9 when it's like really quiet, and just like go for the last hour. Sorry, I'll come back, and then I'll set like 2-3 hours depending on what I want to do, because I know I can like start a song from scratch and kind of get a demo mix down done in 3 hours.
Yeah.
So like that's the time I spend, and then normally after that I kind of like do my later emails, because obviously America's still up, and then kind of just then go to bed at like maybe 4, 4:30, get up at like 12, or like 11 sometimes. If I've got meetings in the morning, I just get up.
Most of your clientele work-wise is in the US?
Sorry, say that again, right?
Most of your clientele is in the US?
Yeah. Like a lot of them. But I've done like, obviously I'm like doing some more stuff with like Fliptrix and people like that. But yeah, it's just, I think the UK guys, because obviously like, you know, like obviously like Potent Fog guys are like quite a solid crew.
Yeah.
High Focus are a solid crew, so it's kind of like I'm a bit of a, like obviously like a lot of people kind of know my name in like different circles.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like just this independent guy that's just like, hi guys, do you need any help? Like,
Yeah. No, that's how you approach me, but it's sick. No, it was sick how, like, as you're saying about wanting to help, that's that, like, there's not many people that are like that, you know, that just reach out like that. Like, obviously, as you know, sometimes the industry can just be bougie and just yeah. But no, and to be honest, when I'm thinking like your scheduling's mad. But to be honest, even with how I work, like I'm going ham with work in the daytime, and then the night time's for me. So it makes sense that it's like, all right, boom, when it hits 10 o'clock, the next 3 hours are just you. Because no matter how mad my schedule is, or like the nighttime, like generally because it's in the daytime, the nighttime's when I'm going ham with my own stuff. So yeah, that makes sense.
I think if we're looking at that and like analysing that properly, I think if you take it back, like if I look back from when I was like 15, 16, like the reason I stay up, probably the reason all of us stay up, is because of trying to balance that 9 to 5 even from school days. I'm in school in the daytime, but like I don't want to be there, I just want to fucking make music.
Yeah.
So it's like from like A levels to whatever, I'm like at school, and then I'm just like, right, I'm gonna stay up for as late as I fucking can.
Yeah.
Go in the next morning, and then after that I got a night shift to pay for all of like my beginner stuff.
Yeah.
And then like and then it was just like, right, I'm just gonna work at night time.
Yeah.
Kind of, like I think we'd like wired that way.
I think a lot of creatives are wired that way. I like, the more you're saying it, it's even when I got to a point where I was just like, at the start of lockdown, and I was just, I wasn't working anyway. There wasn't work coming in, and I was writing in the daytime. There was something weird about it. It wasn't the same, and especially because I have to occupy, obviously, wifey. So it's like, it's like cool. I'll write, and I make sure I'm doing like my routine exercise of writing. But at nighttime, she wants to go to sleep anyway, so I'm just game time. You know what I mean? So like, nighttime, wherever the circumstance, is always better. Even with Jungle Brown. Most of our songs were made, even though we used to try and dedicate a Thursday, because mutually that was like the best day when people had days off. generally the magic did kind of happen at night.
I don't know why. Like, John Mayor's got a great fucking, like, I put it at the beginning of my Goku thing that I put out, and he's got a great, like, fucking talk, and he's just like, you know, he just riffs and
Yeah.
jets. And he's got this, like, fucking 3-hour long interview, and then part of it, he's just like, the dinner, like, the problem is the dinner, like, creatively, because, like, we'd be in the studio, say me and you, we'd, like, hook up, we're cooking, and you're like, oh, I'm hungry, it's like 7 o'clock, but we're just, like, on the cusp of something.
Yeah.
And then you go and get fucking dinner, and, like, go and chill out, and, like, get bougie, like, get drinks, and, like, come back later. Like, it's not the same.
Yeah.
Like, it just isn't, and it's, like, I think, like, it is that balance, because once you say you do shift to full time, it's then that balance of like, well, I can do whatever the fuck I want whenever I want.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, you are the master of your own time and creation anyway. Then at that point, ultimately, everything's on you. So I think you feel a bit more pressure. You know what I mean? Like when you're freelancing and doing stuff, it's just you get to that point. I think where you're like, fuck, like, can I, like, how does it all like end? Kind of thing.
Yeah. That's why even when you asked me at the start of the live, like, what have you been doing today? I was literally thinking to myself, what have I been doing today? Like, because, because I've been going ham with work. Because actually, the last 2 days I've actually had off, and I've just been like, it's just been a relief just to be like, actually, let me think, let me have space to think. Like, what am I gonna do next? Where do I want to go creatively? So that's literally what I've been doing, meditating and just making sure that I know what the next direction is. So. Yeah, bruv. Like, yeah, that I'm gonna keep note of that for other creatives. See if nighttime is their vibe, because I think it is.
Yeah. I think we're all night owls, man. Like maybe I don't know. It's like some wiring or some shit. Like I'm like into like loads of like older shit. And I was reading about like Denisovan DNA. Like today Harvard released a study on it like 2 weeks ago. And basically they're saying like the autism gene comes from Denisovans. Essentially, it's like a derivative of like their actual genome, and it's not part of the Homo erectus.
Okay, see.
And like they're like understanding stuff through like this is really really interesting. But yeah, it's just I don't know. I think maybe creatives' genetic makeup is completely different. Maybe.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna bring it up on the next live that I do. But I'll bring it up on the next live I do. But even on the basic level, as we're saying, I think just overall, there's just less distractions. You know what I mean? Like there can be people bell on my phone about work or about X, Y, Z or catch up, But as soon as like it hits 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. in the morning, no one's disturbing me. I won't even let it happen, even if someone's trying. Like no one's disturbing me. I'm in the zone. So that's it. That's sick hearing your perspective and just how you make it work. What's Bone saying? Yo, this is sick. Wifey duties, laugh out loud. I hope you. Yeah, man. But it's sick seeing how you pattern things. Was there anything that you want to plug?
Well, I've just got like loads of lo-fi stuff coming out. I've got like a tape called Solstice coming out, which is like all like kind of like airy fucking lo-fi beats for the solstice.
Yeah.
And then the actual lo-fi album that the singles have been dropping for drop on July the 6th, and then I've got like singles dropping now every 2 weeks till the end of the year, like actual bare stuff. Because I stacked like 140 songs. Yeah,
I remember I was talking about the rush strategy the last time we spoke. So yeah, bro, I'm not surprised. So yeah, man. So what? You're rolling it out like every 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I've just started this YouTube. I did a vlog today for the first time, and then I'm going to do like a studio tour. I'm going to like start vlogging because I'm starting to go to studios again. And what I want to talk to you about is I want to do like a bare cooks or whatever, where like, because I know we're all capable of making like a fucking tune or like something like the Cave in like a day.
Yeah.
Studio on my Mac, so it's like if I just bring machine and the Mac to everyone while I'm traveling, and I just cook up and we do like parts of like sessions and whatever, and it just becomes a thing. I just want to like obviously like travel while I'm doing stuff and kind of obviously like help as much as I can.
Yeah. Nah, the Cave idea. Definitely haven't seen it in the UK, and I think it's a sick idea.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
A couple people at the moment, so yeah, I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, definitely. Sid, I think you've pretty much covered it. Like pretty much as you said, like 5 years ago was the like turning point with your mentor. and then that just opened you up to the industry of actually having a job and a valued skill, and then at night it's game time for you as an artist. So
Basically.
yeah, bruv, like I don't know if there's anything else you want to add to the equation, because like it's like when I initially did that post about having a 9 to 5, it was more for people that like are in, like, I don't know, they're in a retail job, and you know what I mean, and it's just like I understand that mentally it's just like that, like I can't be fucked with this. I want to get out. I want to be doing music full time, and it's like so I feel like you're in a more blessed position, but at the same time, as we were saying about music as work and music as an artist, obviously it's different. So I don't know if you can shed more about just that emotional journey of.
Well, yeah, of course. Like, I think obviously, well, I left sixth form, like I said, and then I got a night job for like a year and a half just to buy like all of like my like first starter equipment, and then I worked from then till like for 4 years, just like doing every single job. I was like a cocktail bar manager. I fucking worked like cleaning fucking toilets. I did bed stuff, clean caravans. I got fired from all of these jobs, by the way.
I'm seeing, yeah.
Or like I like got into arguments with managers and I quit, and like when it got no job or whatever, it's just like, I think for me, because I knew exactly what I wanted to do, like you said, it's that mental struggle. So some days I would literally go in and somebody would like shout at me for obviously like maybe rocking up late because I've been up since 5 o'clock making beats. And
Yeah.
Fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah.
And then, like, how can you be late for a night shift at 8 o'clock in the evening? And I'm like, meh. And
Yeah.
like, that's not good enough. So I'm like, fuck it, and then just walk out.
Yeah.
But then it's like, obviously then like I just like put so much stress on myself to then like pay stuff and just whatever else. It's just like, I'd say like to anyone that's like trying to do it is like find something that like you posted that like pays solidly. Because if I went back and did that, that's what I'd do again. Like I would find something that paid me 20 to 40k or whatever, and just like find something that was like bearable, and then just do that kind of, and then float that river instead of like having to do like the 6 a.m. cocktail jobs and then still work on music after that, like till like 11 and try to do for like 3 hours, and like you're just like a zombie basically. For like, I just remember feeling like a zombie. Like,
Yeah, no, and I'm glad you said that, because I know so many, like I just know from my experiences and talking to people, so many people will relate to that. It's almost like the emotional resilience to like to put up with it and understand the value of that job, because the people that I know that have, I reckon, would have a different opinion on this topic. It's almost like they can't be fucked with even just giving their energy to anyone in the daytime. And it's like we'll just survive on minimum and just make it work until it works.
But that's what I was trying to do, and it was like, and I became like, if we were to get really real, like I was homeless for a bit, and it was fucked, and like I tried to do that, and it just doesn't work. And then when I started working again, the thing, like I could have done it at 21, and I know I could have, because it's like I'm doing it now, and I've proven that I could have done it. But the one biggest thing that I say to everyone, if you can, is put that fucking money, like whatever you've got, pay your bills and do whatever it needs. But once you've done that, everything back into yourself, because it will come back if you're working that hard.
Yeah.
Like, but I didn't. I was just fucking like, when I had 3 days, like I would like work in the evening, 3 days I'd go out and party, and like for maybe like 1 day every month. But then I'm like blowing all of the stuff that I should have put on VSTs and whatever the fuck else. Like, and then like I'm struggling again, and then like it's just like
that vicious cycle. No, I'm glad you've mentioned it, because like I didn't want to finish this live with like people thinking like, all right, yeah, he got his big break with his mentor, and it was like flying from there, and it's like, nah, I know there's more to the story. And even for me, like I've been in that phase where I was just like, I remember 2016, I came back from traveling, I was like high off traveling, I was like, yeah, if I'm gonna stay in England, I'm only gonna do my passion, I'm not gonna work for anyone, I'm just gonna be an artist. And honestly, bruv, like I was busking, I was doing all sorts of stuff, and it was cool, but bruv, I couldn't pay for anything. Like, it's like, alright, cool, I want some fresh garms for the show, or I want a new mic, I want this. I couldn't, because I was just living on bare minimum, just because I'm just like, oh, let me try and do music full time. And yeah, it was just too much of a struggle. So like, it's good hearing your journey. Like even actually.